All right, we should be rolling. All right, Kurt. So, what is your purpose in life?
Oh, hot topic right off the bat. My purpose in life. Well, purpose is very subjective, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point.
That's the whole point of purpose, yeah. I would say personally, my purpose is to create a good life for my current and future family I'm going to have, and try out as many people as I can.
Okay. So then, So you said like future family. Do you plan on having kids then?
I do plan on having kids. Maybe not in the near future, but definitely in future. I do plan on having kids, and I want to create a resource. Create opportunities for them. I want them to have a good life so they can go to good schools, have the best opportunities as possible, so that they themselves can help people out.
Okay. So the one thing I thought of was like, best schools and stuff like that. Do you think that actually creating those easy, like making an easy life, do you think making an easy life for your family is actually going to make them better people now? Because I feel like, at least personally, the conversations we had before, like we have some sort of struggles, things to deal with, and we haven't really created a perfect life for ourselves. And you want to do that for your family, which is a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
But do you think that would make them as driven as you are?
Well, when it comes to having an easy life or having a difficult life, when you have the power to make your life, your future families easier, it's about making it easier in the right spots.
Okay.
And not necessarily making punishing, but not spoiling them. Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where it goes down to. Obviously, with housing and stuff. When you, let's just say, not saying I'm going to ever own a big mansion. We'll say in this hypothetical, I do own a big mansion and my kids live there. You want to build the value of why they live in that big mansion and how hard it was to get to that point.
Yeah. So I heard one thing basically. It's not you can have whatever you want, it's you can work for whatever you want.
That, and I think a lot of spoiled, rich kids, I think a big reason why they're so spoiled and rich is because they don't understand where being rich comes from.
Yeah, I think it's just generated out of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to build that in our kids' minds that where wealth comes from. It comes from hard work.
Yeah. So would you want them to work that hard? Or would you... So there's kind of two things. So there's basically leverage and hard work. So Jeff Bezos can send one email and get done thousands of hours worth of work done because he has so much leverage. One email can make one person do one thing, do another, and it goes down the chain.
Yeah.
Whereas someone can work 16 hours a day, and that's it. They did 16 hours of work. Whereas Jeff Bezos did 20,000 hours of work through sending one email. So, arguably, he's not working as hard.
Yeah.
So, with that context in mind, would you want your kids to work hard in the sense that, they're working for 16 hours and maybe they have more leverage since they have your resources, or do you want them to get more done? If that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? The difference?
Understand. No, I get what you're saying, yeah. Well, I wouldn't want them... First off, I want to see how easy things are for me, and then I want them to work hard.
What do you mean how easy things are for you?
So, if I can do things similar to Jeff Bezos, like saying...
Okay, yeah.
If they can see how easy it is for me, I would want them to see that so they can want to work towards that.
So, I guess... But are you more concerned with total output or total work?
Total output or total work?
Yeah, because Jeff Bezos did one email.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you mean now.
But the other person worked for 16 hours. To instill those values, how do you, that's what I'm trying to get, how do you think you would do that?
Well, there's that saying, work smarter, not harder. So,
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, I would want to optimize our work. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's one thing, is it's really, but what's hard about that is sometimes you still have to put in the hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's weird because, you can tell, I don't know, bad example, maybe not so nice, but like a McDonald's employee. Okay, work smarter, not harder. Well, they can't just pay someone else to do
Yeah.
the mopping. I guess you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's not like sometimes you actually just that's your job. Like you have
Yeah.
to do it. So I think it's hard to have someone even be able to do that without doing some of that work in the first place.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're speaking of hypothetical. A lot of people are just in that situation, where they have to work in McDonald's, where they have to mop, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think as long as people are working, that's totally okay. Seriously speaking about my future hypothetical kids, definitely, output is definitely more important.
Yeah.
But they have to understand the intricacy of the output. So basically, how I want them to understand what hard work is, and that it contributes very much to success. That's very important.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that things come very easily, because it may come easy for them if they can, for example, do an email, right? But someone else has to respond to that email. Someone has to carry out and execute those orders from the email.
Yes. Okay.
So that's basically what I'm trying to get at. They have to understand how hard work is done and how that contributes to success.
Yeah. So basically creating the playbook.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just using one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's one of the things I think a lot about is like I feel like us being younger, we have a lot of stuff that we're working on. We're kind of doing both. Like we're doing that hard work while trying to also set things up. And I don't know if we'll get to benefit as much from it as a portion of our lives as, like, for instance, like our kids and our family would, because we're doing the work and they're going to have, that playbook, I guess.
Yeah.
So for instance, like for my kids, I'm not super concerned about school, like what type of school they go to, at least right now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a public school is probably okay because I don't feel like the difference in, I don't feel like a kid would appreciate the difference in schooling as long as it's a decent enough public school.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why would I spend all the money on the most prestigious private school that they don't care about?
Yeah.
That they're not putting, the effort in, when I could just take that money, invest it, and save it for them. And then once they're 18, they have $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I meant earlier. When I say best school, I meant like best school that fits them.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what I'm saying is they're gonna have these things that just like maybe subconsciously we can't even instill it with them because we've already done the work. Like it's so hard to like actually like pass down that knowledge without actually doing it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like with the work, like appreciation and stuff like that. Like how do you actually pass that down without the physical effort being put in?
So like basically,
like you could say it's super complicated. Oh, I work so hard, but they didn't see us working for 20 years on something that
that we worked on. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
I guess you don't have to know the answer to it, but
yeah. Well, in that case, maybe like I seen some billionaire or millionaire. I've seen him talk about this. He has his kids do like 3 years of like customer service jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when I say understand hard work, maybe that's just not telling them because we tell somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea more. Yeah. Like maybe having some sort of time frame.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like certain countries have like forced military service.
Yeah.
It's kind of like forced like hard work or hard like toiling labor.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm gonna put them in the force of the military.
No, but like you have to work like a regular job
or at least do some sort of sport. I think sports are really good.
Yeah.
Developing like hard work ethic. Your schedule will be somewhere every 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day after school. And then you are getting some benefit from that work. Maybe not monetary, but physical health-wise and skill-wise, depending on the sport.
Well, obviously we did sports together, but I think, honestly, I learned more about life and, I'm taking more information from the sports that I did in high school.
Than what you're
than actually, whatever I did, in class.
Well, That's because when you're doing a sport, you're not really thinking about. Well, I think most kids they don't really think it as a job or like an obligation. They
Yeah.
think because it's not really an obligation for the most part. It's an extracurricular activity. So when you're in that mindset of like just having fun and you're communicating with people as well, I think you soak in more information and you don't feel forced to
like you're just
learn.
not getting by.
Yeah,
Like school, like you're just like, okay, what's the least amount of work I can do to get by?
yeah,
Whereas sports is like, what's the most amount of work I can do?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
how much can I do? Yeah.
You want to exert yourself
Yeah.
because that's how you're gonna get better. Exerting yourself at school, of course, is going to yield good results. Like
You can only get 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't push yourself past 100%.
Yeah.
Unlike sports, football, for example, they'll tell you you're 110%, or cross country like us 110%.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it boils down to on that point.
Okay. So once you've determined your purpose, how can you minimize regret, like in going towards your purpose? So you said you want to help people and you want to build a life for your family and your family, basically.
Well, when you have a specific goal in mind and your purpose, like what we laid out, I don't think you really should have regret necessarily, because regret just holds you down.
But okay, so do you have any regrets right now? Like, is there anything you wish you already did?
I suppose so. Yeah, but I don't look at it as a regret. I look at it as a missed opportunity, and I don't really dwell on it because when I think of regret, I just think of dwelling on past mistakes, which doesn't help me right now.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
I can't do anything about it. If I had a time machine, sure. I don't have a time machine.
Yeah.
I regret not building a time machine. My one regret. No. I am who I am today. Same as you. You are who you are today because of mistakes, the choices we made. You could wish you knew better, but there's no dwell. It's done.
Yeah.
All you can think about was what you're gonna do in the current moment and tomorrow.
Yeah. So I want to travel more.
Yeah.
Like that's something I want to do more, but I can't figure out a way to travel as much as I want to, while also working as hard as I want to. So I don't know at what point I'll have the opportunity to do that. I think that'll be a regret I'll have.
Yeah.
Because, so for instance, right now, I work 6 days a week and then I work on the business. So I don't really have time to take even small vacations. I can take big vacations, like once a year. But I want, like for instance, like California, like you said, like Marin and what's the other place, like Big Sur and stuff like that. Like I would like to go to those places because that's not like a huge trip. You don't want to take a week off for that.
Yeah.
But you still want to do those things. And so like I'm thinking, I don't know when I'll ever have the time to do the smaller trips. It's like I guess how I don't even know how I would go about that because I feel like I'm only going to get more busy, and then I don't know at what point I would like stop. So like for instance, like a regret like that, like how would you avoid that?
Well, to avoid like future regrets, I guess you call them, you have to value and do the things that are most important to you. Like how important are these traveling?
I don't know because I don't do them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's you can't do both. You can't go on a lot of little trips and work really hard.
Yeah.
Or at least work a lot consistently for a certain amount of time. I guess I could do it later, but will I regret not doing it when I'm 22?
I mean, what do you want? Do you prefer like smaller, more smaller trips, or do you prefer like less bigger trips? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I like going on bigger trips because I feel like they're more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes more sense as far as like not losing momentum. Because I feel like if you go on a trip every weekend, you lose 2 days.
Yeah.
It's like consistently missing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like if you miss once, which is the big trip, then it's not as big of a deal.
Well, realistically, you don't really need to go on a lot of small trips. And, it's like having too much junk food.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people who travel all the time unhealthy or anything like that. But I think for
Like my circumstance.
yeah, like our circumstances,
Yeah.
like it yields us no benefits really, especially since we're so hardwired on working.
Yeah.
Like, especially you, I know you really don't need breaks to really like work.
Yeah.
You literally you work all day and you go to bed. Your break is going to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure like, and you don't seem to mind it. At least I'm not sure how that's going to feel like 5 years.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not like I actually don't mind it now.
Yeah.
I would hate to have like work so hard, and then it'd been like, well, I didn't need to do all that. I could have just
done
taken a break. I guess I guess I wouldn't regret it in the sense like, because I feel like I still do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I still see a lot of people, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I can't do both. I can't do both.
Well, I think when you go on trips, you say you want to travel more, right?
Just do other things other than work all the time. Because like everything around here, we've already pretty much done. There's not really a whole lot to do in this area.
Yeah.
Like there's Dave & Buster's and Applebee's.
Applebee's, yeah. Which is everywhere across the country. It all really comes down to what I think is like a work-life balance, and not in the traditional sense, what people think of work-life balance is, but basically finding time like every month, I would say, to do something memorable.
But that seems like a lot. I think it adds up because you have the day before, you have the however long you go on there, and then you have to get back into the mindset.
Yeah, maybe
of working.
Maybe for you, maybe not every month, maybe like every 3 months, every 4 months.
But that's what I'm saying. And then at that point, it's like other stuff comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like okay, my aunt had a Halloween party.
Yeah.
And I went to that.
Well, it's like that's why you plan it 3 or 4 months in advance.
Yeah.
So nothing gets in the way of you doing that. So that you like, no, this is my time. I'm taking advantage of it. I'm going to do something memorable for me.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right. Something's always going to come up. But it's kind of like a diet in a way. If you just plan it out, you're saying, no, I'm going to do this no matter what.
Yeah.
Meal prepping, like, oh, we're going to Applebee's tonight or something like that. It's like, oh, no, I'm on my deficit. I have 500 calories left. I'm not eating anything above 500 calories, I'm going out. Just being strict about it. Kind of treat it like you're scheduling a job or your work.
Yeah.
So that you still get to do those fun things and nothing gets in the way of it.
So like schedule your fun like it's work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that nothing humanly possible in with it, unless it's super serious, of course.
Yeah.
But
it's literally like, oh, I can't. I have work. Oh,
yeah,
I can't have my vacation.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, we're coming up to the New Year right now. Just like, I know we have your bachelor trip.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. See, I feel like there's just always something. Anyways, I guess that is kind of
that was planned.
That is planned. Yeah.
And plus, it's still connected to your wedding. So like, that's once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
But like, after you get married, right? Plan something 3 or 4 months ahead.
Yeah.
And then, man, nothing's going to stop you from getting to that point. Like, I know you talked about going to Japan before.
Yeah, I think that'll be next. Because I usually do one big trip a year.
Yeah.
So, for instance, after we get married, we're going on our honeymoon, and that's just a cruise to like Mexico and stuff.
Maybe instead of doing one big trip a year, maybe do 3 or 4 medium trips a year.
Yeah, or one big trip and like 2
medium trips.
Yeah, 2 medium trips. Yeah.
But you just plan it ahead so nothing gets in the way. And I know that's like, people would argue, some people argue, oh, you're making your vacation work. Not really. You're just cutting out time for yourself. Like,
no, no.
It's time for myself.
If you can't manage being lackluster about your vacation planning and you're not actually getting it, then you need to be like hardcore about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's kind of the struggles about the bachelor trip I had. I was like, oh god, everything's so close ahead. But I was like, no, I dedicating, I'm just hard focus on it.
Yeah.
And now I have everything almost planned out there.
Yeah. Because if you wait too long, or you don't actually get to it, something else gets in the way.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It gets pushed back, and then it's past the point.
Something. Another good thing, put money into it. Put a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Put a deposit now, so
An investment.
Exactly.
An investment.
Is an investment in yourself, because sometimes you just do need a mental break from everything, which is totally okay.
Yeah. Speaking of mental break, we use a lot of AI tools. That's a really big thing. I always talk about it. So like anytime anyone, I don't know how I always bring it up, but I always say we're gonna live forever, because I really think like AI is gonna make us like upload our brain to a computer, stuff like that. Do you think that, at least with the conversations we had and just in general, do you think AI is like overestimated, like its ability, or do you think it's underestimated? Like, how soon do you think things are going to change with it?
I think we're going to see pretty big changes in the 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
With advancement of AI. What those advancements are, I'm not too exactly sure of. I think AI is underestimated in ways it can like do very mean. No, I guess it's quite estimated in how much it can do like menial tasks, because a lot of restaurants are going to switch to like AI robots in the future.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that under like the automated like
kiosks.
Automated kiosks. I hear the fast food restaurants. I think it's underestimated what it can do in the next 30 years. In the next 15 or 20, it's going to see big changes, but what those are, I'm not sure it's going to be like, uploading your brain or anything.
I don't think I honestly, no, I lied. I think that'll be in the next 20 years.
Uploading your brain to a computer?
I think so.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just inevitable. Like, okay, this is what I want. I want AI to do anything I want at any time without me even having to tell it to do anything, and then I don't want to have to tell it that it's wrong in estimating what it did.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way it would know exactly how you want everything done would be to upload your brain. That would be the most efficient way, because then it knows everything about you, knows exactly how you would like the stuff to be done. For instance, my table. I don't want clutter on it.
Mm-hmm. So
then it would know to put everything away. But at what point does it just know everything about you? And once it knows everything about you, then isn't it just you? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think, like, we're already kind of doing that. We're kind of already uploading our brain to, for instance, ChatGPT. We literally tell it as much as we can about whatever we want it to know, so it can do the task properly.
So when you say you upload your brain, like, in what way does that involve AI? Because you just say upload your brain.
Well, AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah. So your brain being on a computer is artificial intelligence.
I get it. So you're saying you're going to become the artificial intelligence. So let's say we do that. Do we become less human in our emotions?
No, I don't think so. Another reason why I don't think it's bad is because us being artificial intelligence is just as bad as us going from being amoebas to fish, from fish to, I don't know, mice or whatever, and then from mice or what I'm talking about, like just a generic land mammal to humanoid, from humanoids to humans. Like that, like the fish doesn't care about turning into the mouse.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So we shouldn't really care.
It is something interesting though that when we are thinking the next evolutionary stage though is not organic. It's going to be inorganic.
But here's the thing, organic has a limit. It takes billions of years for anything to change.
No, exactly. That's what I mean though. It's interesting that that's why I think a lot of people are kind of scared. We're going from organic to inorganic.
Yeah.
And if, like you said, our brains can be uploaded to a computer, all our emotions, memories. What makes you think AI, as it is right now, isn't capable of such things?
It's not capable right now because, well, it might be. It might be held back. But for that reason, it's slowly being introduced or slowly being developed, because there has to be some way to grasp it, because we can't actually handle change that fast.
Yeah.
Like we can't. For instance, we can't visualize $1 billion. Like we don't really understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a general idea, but we just don't understand it. So it's kind of the same thing. Like it just takes. That's why I think 20 years, like 20, 30 years.
20 years.
Definitely 100 years.
Yeah, of course.
Because even if you think 100 years ago, the differences in life quality, like a grocery store that has like everything in it, that's a relatively new thing. Like it didn't exist, but like now it's just something that's so normal.
Do you see any like possible drawbacks of AI though?
I mean,
so abundant in our life.
I think it'll be the same drawbacks that we have now. Like it's one step backward, 100 steps forward.
Okay.
So for instance, like currently right now, okay, there's pollution. That's maybe the biggest thing, or like, but yes, like there's some pollution, there's some greenhouse gas effects, whatever, right? But there's less war than ever, less violence than ever, less people in poverty than ever, less people in slavery than ever. Like there's so much better things for a majority. Yes, there's terrible things for some people, but there's a larger majority than there was previously of people that have better circumstances.
Okay.
So I think it'll be the same thing. Like, yeah, there will be some terrible things that do happen, but overall, it's 100 times better.
It's a net benefit for the human race.
I don't think there's any other time in human history that anyone on Earth would rather live than right now.
I agree with that. I think we are in the most peaceful period, most technologically relevant period right now.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it'll be the same thing in the future. Like, yeah, there's drawbacks for sure, but that's kind of like the human condition is creating a bunch of abundance. Problems emerge from that abundance, and then those problems get solved and push, the buck. Like, okay, this generation has to figure out this problem, but we got you further ahead in this aspect.
Do you think we are going too fast with the progress of AI then?
So that's why I'm saying I think we'll be uploaded to computer, because we have, prehistoric minds, medieval institutions, and basically technology of gods. Yes. Like we can wipe out the whole planet if we wanted to. Like we can destroy the whole planet. So you see what I'm saying? So like I think that's why that's probably going to be the next step. Because what else could you really do to a human mind? Like you can't evolve a human mind. Actually, you can. Like there's like genomics and stuff like that. You can make people smarter, but 120 IQ person is nowhere near as smart as ChatGPT in 10 years. Well, will be. Well,
is AI even considered smart or just very knowledgeable? Because its brain is the internet.
I think, but the whole point, we're basically training it right now. We're uploading millions of brains to it.
So, do you want AI to like be able to like come up with creative new ideas?
I mean, it kind of already does.
In a way, yeah. But like I said, it's just based off all
other people's ideas.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, is like a lot of what human race does as well. But we have the potential to go beyond other people's ideas while AI is reliant on it.
But right now.
So, but eventually when it does become, superior and when it does become creative, doesn't become sentient at that point?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. AI is related, or not related, what'd you say? Reliable. AI is reliable on us.
Yeah, on you.
Like we are on food.
Yeah.
So like, whoa, well, are humans really smart if they need to eat food to survive?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess it's just a requirement right now.
Are you ever worried about AI working against humans?
No. Because we would just tell it not to, and it doesn't have any desires.
I think it's like a lot of people's concerns, though, that if we advance too fast, though, it will have desires.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we have to do it anyways because evil people will put evil desires in it. So, like, we can try and put good desires into it, but for sure, evil people will put bad desires.
So basically, different kinds of arms race.
Yeah, because like China,
China, for example.
China's gonna definitely be like, nah, like we're gonna make an evil AI.
Evil AI, yeah.
Like what do we call it? Evil AI. Evil AI.
Russia.
But that's the thing, right? It's like
the Kremlin AI.
Kremlin AI. Yeah, so they're gonna create. At least, okay, even if it's not evil, create it to do their bidding, and their bidding is like malicious.
Do you think the United States is not evil?
I think the United States is still run by the people.
At least somewhat more decent people in our government, or
just the general people,
like the general populace.
Like tyrannical governments are run by tyrants, and like 4 of them, 1 of them. At least there's some good people. Well, I don't know, but I would imagine there's at least good people in our government.
Yeah.
At every level, like, and it's at least distributed enough to where a few evil people can't at least hold all of the power. Yeah, maybe they can do a few bad things, whatever. But we can still vote them out technically.
Yeah, and I guess we found out the elections aren't rigged.
Yeah.
So we do have voting power. Don't forget that we do have voting power. I really do gotta vote next time though.
But yeah, that was 30 minutes.
Nice.
Cool. Number 1 down.